Alrighty, Kim. Thank you everyone for joining us. I see we have some attendees joining the webinar. We're just going to give it about a minute or so and then we will get started. Thank you so much. All right, so I think we will go ahead and get started. Hello, everyone, and welcome to SEO's May webinar on living and learning in Memphis, Tennessee. Thank you so much for joining us. I hope you all are staying safe and healthy. My name is Avery Cunningham. I'm a Student Services and Admissions Officer here at SEO. I'm one of the admissions team members who answers your questions and participates in the admissions process. Before we get started, I ask that we all use proper Zoom etiquette by keeping microphones muted unless speaking, limiting background noise, and respecting all of this webinar's attendees and facilitators. We will have time for questions towards the end of the webinar, but in the meantime, if you do have any questions or concerns that need immediate attention, please use your chat feature at the bottom of your screen to communicate with us. So today we have a star-studded cast here to introduce you to all of the city of Memphis's incredible features. Memphis is SEO's hometown and the residence of all of our students during their 4 years in optometry school. We will open with a brief overview of Memphis's history and culture brought to you by representatives of city leadership, an organization that strives to recruit talented individuals to Memphis, to develop leaders and organizations in Memphis, and to catalyze collaborative projects for the benefit of the city. Those representatives are Keenan Lowry, the City Leadership Alumni Coordinator, Joy Taylor, the Recruiting Director, and Luke Pruitt, who was very recently another member of City Leadership's team, but he has only recently transitioned to a wonderful new position with Le Bonheur Children's Hospital as a Development Foundation Director. We're so grateful to have these three here. They have put together a marvelous presentation and videos to give you all some more in-depth insight into the city of Memphis and all the great things you can expect to experience and learn while in the city. Then we will have a panel of current SEO student ambassadors who will share their own insights and experiences as new members to the Memphis community. Those ambassadors are Zach Groves and Addie Atkinson, both members of the class of 2024. Then finally, a quick note, this webinar is being recorded and will be free and available to view starting next week on our website. So from there, I will turn it over to city leadership to introduce themselves and start us off.
Yes, hello everyone. We are so excited to be on this call with you all as you are taking your journey to obtaining admission into optometry school. I'm Keenan Lowry. We'll talk more about who we are in the presentation, but we're going to start off. We're going to let you see this video about Memphis. We'll talk history with you all. We will tell you what we do in the city of Memphis and how you can walk along this journey with us as we make the city of Memphis a better place. And you'll hear from my team members, Joy Taylor and Luke Pruitt. So I'll go ahead and get that video started for us. Thank you for editing access. All right.
One of the things that makes the city great is what it gives back to the world.
Here in Memphis, it's not hard to be a part of what's going on. You're not unseen and you're not unheard of. If you want to start something new that's creative and positive for the community, there are plenty of outlets.
There's a lot of great synergy. There's a lot of people who want to be here and that want to make our city great.
Memphis is ripe with opportunity. It's a city on the rise. Some things in Memphis just make me think and make me crave to want to know more. It still has a lot of Southern charm. You know, there's still that hospitality and that down-home neighborhood feel. It's a place that takes its history very seriously, but people don't take themselves overly seriously.
All the great chefs, all the great restaurants, and even now with the awesome food trucks, you know, they want and crave things that are new, but particularly things that are authentic.
And yeah, this is a gritty city, and there's lots that can be fixed, but there's lots of people that are definitely putting in the work to make it a better place. That goes from the biggest business to the smallest startup. Like, everyone sees where there's a need, and instead of waiting on someone else to come in and save them or saying someone else should do it, you definitely see Memphians picking up that mantle and doing their part.
The more that we connect each other, the stronger we'll be. The more that we show people our favorite side of Memphis, the more that we kind of attract folks to the city and get them invested in what happens.
I would encourage anyone who's considering just packing up and coming to Memphis that you won't regret it. There's opportunities to help and to give back.
And you see how rich the soil is. You see what's there, but what's even more valuable is the potential.
Hello, welcome. Keenan, you want me to take it away from here for a minute?
Yes.
Awesome. Well, we are so excited that you're interested in one of the most elite schools in the country and what we believe is the greatest city in the world, Memphis. Some would say Tennessee, others would say Arkansas, others Mississippi. We sit right there on the collision of those three states, and Joy, Keenan, and myself have worked together for years, traveling the country, telling the good news of Memphis. I recently, this week, transitioned to the LeBonner Foundation, and that's so demonstrative of how connected Memphis is. There are amazing opportunities to get to know incredible people here in the city. And so I'm so excited for y'all to hear from Keenan and Joy. Like many of you, they are in their early 20s and they are leading on a really large scale, doing extremely important work. And so that's the things I would say about Memphis, that it is a city of incredible art and incredible business and medical innovation. You'll hear about that from Keenan and Joy, but it's also a place with some amazing young leaders getting really, really large scale opportunities. So I'm excited for each of you to hear from two of those amazing leaders. And last thing I'll say is Southern College is such an elite place. The work that Avery and the staff and faculty do there on a daily basis is absolutely top notch. So we're so thankful to be with you. Keenan?
All right, thank you, Luke. Yes, like you said, we are very, very excited to have this opportunity to speak with you all. So a little bit about what we do. So we work for City Leadership. City Leadership is a nonprofit consulting firm. It is here to recruit, develop, and catalyze leaders that are here in the city of Memphis, as well as collaborative efforts to make the city of Memphis a better place. This is our team, and we work every single day to make sure that nonprofits in the city of Memphis, that they have the best resources, the best tools, the best talent, because these are the organizations that are making sure the next minds, the next geniuses of the next world, the next presidents, the next change agents. We believe that those persons will come right out of Memphis, and we work hard every single day to make sure that happens. It was founded in 2010 by our executive director, the beautiful guy at the top left, John Carroll, with the collar shirt on. He founded this organization with the dream that we can make this city a better place. We can turn the negative notions that many people that may not know the city of Memphis, we can turn that narrative on its head and let them know we have talent. We have people who are working to make our city better, and we will work together. We don't want this silo, because it can feel very siloed at times, but to know that you have a collaborative effort with executives and organizations and people all across the city, as well as the world, that are working to make this city a better place, it just brings a different level of heart and resilience. So I'm Keenan Lowry. As we said, I'm one of the alumni coordinators. Follow me on the gram, Keenan_no_Kale. But I'm 25 years old. I was born and raised in Memphis, Tennessee. went off to Lane College, where I got my bachelor's degree in criminal justice, and came home to the city of Memphis to work and work really hard on this mission. My coworker, Joy Taylor. Miss Joy Taylor is a 2017 graduate of the University of Memphis. She is our recruiting and alumni director. Make sure y'all follow her on the gram, Joy Jazriel. She's a 26-year-old Memphian, born and raised as well, and we do this work together. She's the boss. I work for her, and she does amazing work. One of the most phenomenal leaders I've ever had the opportunity to be around. The Luke Pruitt, LeBonner Foundation Director. Follow him on the gram at Luke Pruitt. Born and raised in Blytheville, Arkansas, right across the river. He has his beautiful wife, April Pruitt, and the 3 lost boys, Thomas, Elliot, and Liam. Greatest guys you'll ever meet. Hopefully you'll be able to meet them one day. That's Luke Pruitt. But we do this work along with different organizations. We have partners that stretch all across the city of Memphis, and these are just a few. But it is our hope that one day we will be able to collaborate with every single one in the city of Memphis. So we have a campaign, Choose 901. We have several campaigns. This is our recruitment campaign. It was founded in 2015. And this campaign is basically the megaphone for the city of Memphis. We want people to know that there are things to do in the city of Memphis. You can live and invest your life. There's so much philanthropy going on. We want you, once you become a student in optometry school, we want to take the hard part off you. We want you to do school. We want you to make straight A's, make millions and billions of dollars. But we don't want you thinking about what you're going to have to do Friday after you've studied hours on top of hours. We want to do that for you. You cannot make an A in a class and then come and make an F in Memphis. That's preposterous. We want to make sure that you are able to succeed both academically and socially. We get to go across the country, as Luke said, and spread the gospel and spread the joy about what we do in the city of Memphis, and connect with Memphians. Even if Memphians go on and they're living in New York or California, we want to figure out how can we work with you to make our city better from where you live. We have another campaign, Teach 901, where we recruit over 200 teachers and we retain them as well, and throw retention events, because we know that education is the #1 social justice and civil rights issue. We believe that Memphis is the epicenter for urban education reform. We have several organizations that are #1 in the world, and we make sure and help that the schools across the city of Memphis, that they get the best educators that this country and this world has to offer. We have Serve 901. This campaign, pre-COVID, it recruited over 1,200 students, college students from all across the world, and even foreign students to come to Memphis to learn about our social justice issues, learn about our civil rights issues, in an effort to become change agents, whether they come back to the city of Memphis or they go off and do what they do there and find a way to impact their world. It is our goal to really just build up change agents. We have Give 901, our corporate giving campaign, to make sure that these organizations are able to operate. We know they need funding. So we go around to organizations on behalf of our organizations and partners in the city of Memphis, and we let them know how just for 1 hour of pay, just 1 hour of pay, you can make a difference in the city of Memphis. Even if you can't give all of your time, if you can just give 1 hour of your pay, then that will make a tremendous difference and be the difference for a lot of students' education right here in the city of Memphis. We have our alumni program that Ms. Joy Taylor is the director of, and it is our goal to champion and equip our alumni. We have over 1,800 students spread across our 7 partner schools. And we want them to know that they will have the mantle that will run off into the distance and make our city of Memphis, their city, a better place. This is our team. We have Miss Joy Taylor at the bottom left. You got me and the Jean in the middle. Mr. Travis Tennant, who's our talent director. We have Miss Jasmine Levy on the right, who's an alumni coordinator, and there's Luke Pruitt in the back. Love this picture, y'all. So we understand that if you're coming to the city of Memphis, in order to really gain a love and in order to really understand the things that are going on around you, it's important for you to know the history of Memphis. One of my favorite quotes, never shall a people forget their past, because their past is the foundation on which their future is built. And though Memphis is not perfect, but Memphis is one of those cities that has soul, resilience, perseverance, excellence, and we've bounced back from so many atrocities. Of course, Memphis has its fair share of atrocities like many other cities in this country, but we tend to not let that define our city, and we work every day to make sure that it doesn't continue and that those things never happen again. So we work hard every day in Memphis. So Memphis, it sits right on the bluff. There are 4 bluffs in the state of Tennessee, and Memphis sits upon one of those. That's why we have so much development that can happen on this side of the Mississippi River and not on the Arkansas side, because it'll just flood all the time. So we're able to do that in Memphis. It was founded in 1819. Just recently, we threw 200 parties across the city as we celebrated our 200th year. We're now in our 201st. But it was founded by Overton, Jackson, and Winchester. And it was first explored by Hernando de Soto in 1542. He was a Spanish explorer, came looking for gold and silver and just whatever he can find. And he realized that Memphis could definitely be a trade hub and an epicenter. And Andrew Jackson, James Winchester, and John Overton, they saw that vision, they saw that dream, and we were incorporated December 9th, 1826. And it started off with just 500 residents. And if you know Memphis, Memphis is named after the ancient Egyptian town that sat along the Nile River. Winchester considered the Mississippi River the American Nile River and hoped Memphis on that Mississippi, it will become that trade and cultural epicenter, just as the Nile River had been. So going into those different atrocities and things that happened in the city of Memphis, we have the Battle of Memphis. Memphis was actually participated in the Civil War. And many people don't know this because Memphis only lasted 90 minutes. So they didn't really want to be, a part of that. And much throughout the Civil War, Memphis became a hub for transporting things from the north to the south. And although the Civil War was a bad thing that happened in Memphis, it actually kind of saved us that we only lasted 90 minutes. We were still able to keep a lot of our infrastructural things that are in Memphis. So it's not like the Mississippis and Alabamas where it's more country. So we were able to still keep those foundational things. Post-Civil War, there was still so much racial tension that was in the city of Memphis. And one of those things that arose from that was the Memphis Massacre of 1866. Many people only know about the massacre in Tulsa, Oklahoma, but one happened right here in the city of Memphis. And I really encourage you to research that and look up those historical things. But after that, Memphis was starting to become on the rise again. Memphis was becoming what it was supposed to be, the second largest city in the entire world. And if you know, as Luke always said, if you've seen Hamilton like I have on Disney Plus 1,000,000 times, then you know Alex stole the cannons He won the war. In New York, they were able to get all of the great artists and everything, but Memphis was still that hub for the South. From 1826 to 1870, look just how large Memphis's population grown. And the dynamics, I believe it was about 14 to 20% African-American. And after that, it became 44%. And I think now Memphis, Tennessee is 68% African-American. So we have a very, very diverse city. But as those things were progressing and the city was starting to really catch its feet, we were able to survive the Civil War. We were able to survive Memphis Massacre and those atrocities, but we almost fell at the knees of a mosquito. As you know, we're living in a pandemic now. So just imagine what the yellow fever was like back then. It was a very deadly disease that it took over the entire world. So just imagine them having a quarantine, but you don't even know where it's coming from. So you can't really know exactly what you should do. But the yellow fever, from that, there were so many wealthy people who left the city of Memphis. So they went on, they flooded out. But as those people were leaving, so much beauty came out of that because Memphis became a medical hub. That's why you have your Southern College of Optometries here, your UT Health Science Centers, even though UT Knox is in Knoxville, Tennessee, because there were so many change agents and nurses and doctors who flooded into the city of Memphis and risked their lives to help find that cure right here in the city of Memphis. And Memphis, even today, is living through that medical hub name. There are nurses that are being groomed every single day, doctors being groomed every single day, and the Labaners and the St. Jude's, where children can come here with a very small percentage chance of living. But now, because so many donors and this city being the epicenter of medicine, that they're able to survive. They have over an 80, 90% percentile chance of surviving. But there were also branding. So Memphis was known as the city of death back then. And I don't know about you, but if they would start to name Memphis the city of death now, I don't think I would live here. I would probably be hightailing it as far as I possibly can. And there were so many economic withdrawals that happened from that. Memphis actually lost its charter because of the financial decline that came from that. But from those atrocities, so much innovation and beauty and greatness came from that. I want to introduce you to a man by the name of Robert Church. He was the South's first African-American millionaire, and he was the owner of the nation's largest African-American bank. It was because of him that we were able to regain our charter from him buying it right here in the city of Memphis. He was born a slave. He was a real estate agent, Memphis man, but we were able to still be our city because of this man's greatness. This is E.H. Boss Crump. He was the first elected mayor in 1909. Although he was removed from office, he still controls so much politics that happened in the city of Memphis. And as you can see here, he basically picked every mayor from 1915 to 1954. He was the most absolute political boss. And you can see his stadium if you come in the Midtown, downtown area. You have W.C. Handy, who was the father of blues. And if you come down Beale Street, you'll see why they call us the city of blues. We have the best music that this world has ever seen and will ever know. So Memphis was starting to, really go into this next renaissance of innovation, of excellence. But we know during that same time, this nation still was not where it could possibly be. Everything that looks strong isn't, and if it looks weak, sometimes that isn't the case either. So if you know the civil rights movement, it came right here through Memphis. Martin Luther King came and visited Memphis through the I Am a Man campaign. to bring fair wages and fair conditions for sanitation workers. And he came and delivered his most iconic speech, "I've been to the mountaintop." He delivered that April 3rd, 1968 at Mason Temple. And in that speech, he gave the rubric to how we're to overcome systemic racism, oppression, housing, economic oppression through withdrawing and coming together and really bringing this world and this nation together and scream from the high top that we can do this together. Why Memphis? Why would someone come to Memphis? There's just been so much innovation, so much greatness that has come from Memphis. As we talked about St. Jude being right here in the city of Memphis, we have Stax Museum, which was an epicenter just sitting beside Motown in Detroit. So there's so much greatness. Sun Studios, which later gave way to Johnny Cash, Elvis Presley, those greats. And now we have the Justin Timberlakes, the Yo Gottis, Tay Keith, even Aretha Franklin right here in the city of Memphis. There's just so much beauty, so many things to do. This is one of our favorite quotes. Memphis is one of those cities you think you know until you experience it. Like a garden in early spring, there's a world of activity beneath the surface. Venture away from the main drags and you'll find a hub of thriving neighborhoods, eateries, and creative small businesses throwing all their weight into a diverse and soulful city. We have the best barbecue in the land. I don't care what anybody try to tell you. If you come to Central Barbecue, you're gonna have the best food that you've ever had in your life. You might get to go to a concert at the FedEx Forum, like I try to go to every year. We have the Grizzlies, the Bridge. You're able to go to the Peabody. There's just so many things that you can do right here in the city of Memphis. We believe that you can and you have the opportunity to really live and invest your life here in the city of Memphis. We want you to come. Hopefully you're able to get accepted and you come to Memphis. You will be able to walk alongside us and leave your mark right here in the city of Memphis. Your work will not be alone. You'll be standing next to the giants and the change agents in a collective effort to advance this city as a whole together. I'm gonna throw it to Joy and give her thoughts, let her bring it home if Joy has anything to say. But I'm so excited that each of you are on this call right now and able to just be with us. And I'm really looking forward to hanging out with you all. Hopefully one day we can bring you all our discount cards, come hang out with you all and invite you to the many events that we have in the city of Memphis as well. Like I said, I don't want you to have an A in school and then you get an F in Memphis. We want you to succeed at both. So Joy, I'm gonna pass it to you to bring us on home. And if Luke, you have anything else to give, let me know.
All right. That was really great, Kenny. You did a great job. I love hearing the history of Memphis. But hello, everyone, all of the attendees here. My name is Joy Taylor. And one thing that is true about me is that I love Memphis. And once people hear me say that statement, they typically ask me one follow-up question. So what's your favorite thing about Memphis? Since you love Memphis so much, what is that favorite thing about it? And you just heard Keenan talk. You know that we are rich in history. We're rich in great food. That's one thing that's true about Memphis. There's a lot of good food here. And we're rich in music and culture. But one thing I think people always miss that I know to be true is that we are rich in opportunities to invest, opportunities to be a change agent, to be a change maker, to turn the tides of the city. If you really want to see something happen, this is the perfect place. This is fertile ground for you to plant a seed and see something come up and reap the harvest of something good. This is the city for that. You've heard the history, you know, it's some beautiful parts, it's some tragic parts, but at the end of the day, this city has birthed innovators, people who have made it out of the mud, who feel like they don't have anything. They've made something out of nothing. And that's one of my just favorite things about this city. Our thing that I say that, that we need leaders. We need you. There are literally developments happening right now with leaders and young professionals like you in mind. Memphis is buzzing with arts and culture and music and a nightlife with great food to help make you feel right at home. I believe that Memphis is a community that works towards its problem. And to be in the 901, it takes courage, it takes initiative, it takes heart. And if you are willing to put your best foot forward, if you're willing to make a change, if you want to see something happen, if you are interested in social justice, but you're interested in science at the same time, this is the perfect city for those things to kind of work together and collab. I believe Memphis has the tendency to create legends. And if you take a chance on us, if you take a chance on this city, the legacy is yours. It's yours to have. So I'm so happy to talk to you guys. I hope you can fall in love with Memphis just like me, just like Keenan, just like Luke, and be just proud ambassadors of this city and rep it well, because we love you. We love you. We love that you want to be here. We love that you want to serve here. And we're just so grateful that we get a chance to talk to you and get to know you. That's all I got.
Thank you, JT. Avery, we're throwing it back to you.
Alrighty, wonderful. Well, thank you so much. That was a wonderfully educational and thorough presentation. I learned so much about this city that I didn't even know, and I've been a part of this community, and my family's been part of this community for most of my life. So I hope that all of you as attendees were able to really see a future for yourself in Memphis based off this presentation. So now we're going to switch to our student panel featuring our two student ambassadors, Zach Groves and Addie Atkinson. Guys, if you'd like to go ahead and introduce yourselves, let us know where you're from, what your alma mater is, and then we'll start off with some questions.
Hey everybody, my name's Zach Groves. I'm from Washington State. I went to Washington State University of Vancouver, and I am a second year student.
Hey guys, my name is Addie Atkinson. I'm also a second year student with Zach. I'm originally from Savannah, Tennessee, which is about 2 hours east of Memphis, and I went to Samford University in Birmingham for undergrad.
Great, thank you both so much. Alrighty, so we're going to start off with some questions, and then for our attendees, we'll, as I said, have time for questions for all of you towards the end. So please feel free to make note of any questions in the chat, and then we'll be sure to come back to them during our open question section. So starting off for Zach and Addie, how much of a role do you feel the city of Memphis played in your decision to attend SCM?
So for me, Memphis, like I said, was relatively close to home. So that was definitely a perk when choosing an optometry school. But honestly, ultimately, when I was deciding where to go, I really only considered, what optometry school was going to best prepare me to be a doctor one day. And so all in all, Memphis and the city didn't play too much of a role when deciding between schools, but I'm so glad that I picked SCO and Memphis, and I love Memphis so much. So now I'm definitely thankful for the city.
Yeah, same with me, kind of like I really love Memphis as well. But so I'm from Washington State, like I said. So I had no prior to coming here, I had no idea of what Memphis was like or anything like that. And even when I came for my interview, I landed the night before. I went to the interview, and then I left right from the interview to the airport to go back to Washington. So when I even visited, I really had no idea what Memphis, the city, was like. I really just loved SCO, but I like Addie said, I'm so thankful that I ended up choosing SCO because Memphis is just the best, and I love everything about it.
Great, thank you. And so how do you feel that your current view of the city has differed from a reflect of your initial impression? I know both of you kind of touched on this a little bit, but are there any specific things that you feel newly kind of inspired by or enlightened by with the city?
Yeah, I can start with this one here. So like I just said, I really didn't have much of an initial impression, like for like firsthand, but I had heard a lot of people talk about Memphis, both good and bad. Like I heard a lot of like, oh, it was such a fun city. And like then I heard a lot of like just, people worrying about it being dangerous, things like that. But from my own experience, like it's, as long as you're not out looking for trouble or anything like that, it's just like any other city. It has its good parts, and then it has other parts that, you just stay away from, like late at night or something like that. So it's really haven't had any bad experiences in Memphis. It's been all good.
Yeah, and well, first I want to apologize for any traffic noise in the background. I didn't really realize how loud this area was, but I kind of want to go off of what Zach said and just encourage you to understand that every city definitely has pros and cons, no matter where you go, especially in more major cities. But something that I have really learned about Memphis since my time being here is Memphis is the second largest city, if I'm not mistaken, in Tennessee, but it doesn't really feel like that. You get the pros of a big city as far as like your resources and your access to things, but it really does have a small town feel too. So Memphis is really, kind of the best of both worlds in that aspect. It really does feel like a community. You find that if you're involved in the community at all, it really does feel like a small town, and that's a lot different. I come from a small town, and so that is something that I appreciate about Memphis. But like I said, you also get the benefits of a big city as well.
There we go. Alrighty, great, thank you. And I know housing is a big question for a lot of our students, especially since SCO does not have any on or off campus housing that's directly affiliated with the school available. What was the process of finding housing like for the both of you, and what kind of support or guidance did SCO offer?
So I actually lived in Memphis for a year prior to starting at SCO. So I kind of had a feel for the city and where I wanted to be. So that is a little bit of a perk that some of you may not necessarily have. I knew I wanted to live in a house in Midtown, and so I just kind of started looking on Zillow at good areas and good places that I wanted to be. And I know obviously that's a lot different from what you all are experiencing. But SCO offers really good resources. I know there is one resource with every neighborhood broken down, neighborhood by neighborhood, depending on, where you want to be, whether that be Mud Island or Midtown or closer to downtown, with really good apartments and areas that students have recommended and recommend in the past. So I encourage you to utilize that resource. And honestly, utilize current ambassadors. I know that me and Zach's email are both on the intros that they gave. And so we are happy to answer any questions, because I know that sometimes it can be daunting for sure to move to a new city and not know the area as well. So you can definitely use us for guidance as well.
Yeah, please reach out to us and ask us any questions. We love questions and just helping you guys out. And for me, the process of finding housing was quite a bit different than I think for any of you will be, because so I actually never firsthand looked at an apartment. What happened was my wife came down because we're moving together. She came down for an interview, residency interview in March. And so her and her mom actually, they toured the island, they toured Midtown, and they ended up choosing Midtown. But SCO played a huge role in it. It made it really easy because I was able to, we have a lot of resources for like which apartment complexes there are like students staying at, or which ones are well known around here. And so it was easy for me to relay that information to my wife, and so she was able to kind of get because of I was going to SCO, she was able to get at the top of some of the lists, and it worked out really, really well. So they really helped out. SCO helped out with a lot of just the details and things like that. But it's different for me because I just kind of trusted my wife, and I never actually saw an apartment myself, but it worked out really well. We also ended up living in Midtown for the first year, and it was absolutely awesome.
Thank you. And in terms of talking about your specific Memphis neighborhoods, what do you enjoy about them? And what is your favorite thing to do in your neighborhood?
All right, I'll start with this one. So for me, like I just said, my wife and I, the first year we lived in Midtown. And I will say that over the summer, we've actually moved to the island. So I'm going to kind of talk about both because I've experienced both. So for Midtown, I absolutely love Midtown. I know Addie will go into Midtown as well, but I love Midtown. There's just so much to do. There's so many good restaurants. Like we live really close to Central Barbecue. My wife, I know Addie, there's this little cycle bar place that they go and cycle sometimes. So there's that. There's just really good restaurants. And I know when COVID's not going on, there's different festivals that are going on in the Cooper Young area and the square. They just put up a new, I think a hotel there, the Memphian, and there's Overton Park. So there's just so much in Midtown to do, so many different things. And it's great. And then for the island, of course, it's definitely a little bit, it's a change of pace for sure. It's definitely a little bit more relaxed out there. And you obviously have the Mississippi River right in your backyard and the green belt and the beautiful Memphis Bridge. And it's nice to, I mean, we ended up deciding to move out to the island just because a lot of our friends lived out there, and we like to go and play different like sports out on the island, things like that. So, but Midtown always will have a special place in my heart. Like I love both so much. But yeah, both my experiences have been really good.
Yeah, and I'll back Zach on both of those comments. The island is super fun, and what I'll say about the island is there's just a ton of grad students there. It kind of seems like the hub. There's lots of apartments on the island, so seems to be where grad students typically live. But I chose Midtown just because, like I said, I lived in Memphis for a year before, and just really saw that that's where a lot was happening, and a lot of young people were, a lot of new stuff coming to Midtown and restaurants. One of my favorite things about living in Midtown is from my house, I can walk to restaurants and breweries. Memphis Made is right there in Midtown as well. And so that's what I've always wanted. It's what I had in Birmingham at undergrad, is a lot of stuff happening near me, and it's what I wanted in Memphis as well. So that's why I chose Midtown, and I definitely don't regret it.
Great, thank you. Now talking a little bit about the cost of living, I know we talk to students a lot about how affordable Memphis is and compared to other large metropolitan cities, but how would the both of you describe the cost of living in Memphis so far?
Yeah,
Memphis? Oh, sorry,
ahead.
Zach.
Oh, go ahead, Abby.
I thought we were taking turns, Zach. Come on. So Memphis has a really, really, really affordable cost of living. I actually did just a little bit of research before this, and Memphis, and I knew this to be true, but I wanted to fact check myself. And Memphis has a lower cost of living than the average city in Tennessee. So it's very affordable. Utilities are very affordable as well. And I would say comparable to other places that I've lived, that I do save a lot more money living in Memphis.
Yeah, I'm gonna echo that. I was during Keenan's presentation, I actually fact checked something myself, and yeah, Memphis is the most cost efficient, I think, city in the United States. So it's very friendly cost wise, and that's been great. I think for Midtown, I know that was the initial reason we decided to move there first, was because the cost of living in Midtown is even better than it is on the island. So that was the initial reasoning behind that. But yeah, no, Memphis, I'm just gonna keep it short and echo exactly what Addie said. But no, that's one of the top things I love about Memphis. It's just so it's just nice here.
And I do want to add just super quickly, the closer or the farther you go as far as like the suburbs, so like Germantown, Collierville area, it would probably be a little more expensive, but still comparable to other places, still affordable. So.
Thank you. Now, are there any things in particular, one or two, that you wish you had known before moving to Memphis? Things that might have made the process easier or made the transition smoother?
Honestly, trying to think. I really, honestly, I thought the transition was really smooth, and it's hard for me to think of anything that would have made it more smooth, I guess. Yeah, honestly, I really, it's kind of embarrassing, but I don't think I have an answer for this one. I'll see what Addie says, and then maybe something comes to mind.
Same here. I really like Zach said, the transition was really smooth. One thing that I would encourage you to do, and I think I kind of touched on this earlier, is Memphis truly does have so much community, but it's not just gonna come to you. You kind of have to find it. So whatever you really enjoy, whether that's spiritually and getting involved in a church, or exercise, getting involved in a gym, or whatever community that you enjoy, I encourage you to do that early, because you'll really benefit from that and find community a lot quicker. And I have found that I love every single person in my class, and I love seeing them, but you see them every day and on weekends as well, usually. And so it's pretty cool to kind of have a community in Memphis outside of class, to escape every once in a while. So I encourage you to do that early on, and just find what you're passionate about and get involved in a community.
I guess one thing that one thing that did come to mind is kind of off that what Addie said is, but for me with like food and everything. So, everyone talks about how good Memphis barbecue is, and it is so good, but there are so many other really good restaurants here in Memphis. So absolutely, like, branch out as soon as you can and try as many different places, and because there's just so much that Memphis has to offer.
True. Memphis has great food, and I want to give a shout out to Choose 901. They mentioned earlier that they are kind of the one stop for all things going on in Memphis, and that is true. Follow them on Instagram, Choose 901. I've been living here 2 years, and they're still my resource for all things going on in Memphis. So I would definitely recommend doing that.
Great, thank you. And how has the COVID-19 pandemic impacted your time living in Memphis thus far? I know, Addie, you were living in Memphis for about a year before the pandemic started, but Zach, I believe you joined our community right in the middle of the pandemic. So do you feel that this has skewed your experience in Memphis over the last year or so?
Sorry, Zach. I think
not bad.
You go ahead. No, you go ahead, Zach. You go ahead. You take it.
I'm bad at the turns thing. Okay, yeah. So, well, yeah, moving here in the middle of the pandemic. No, it didn't skew. I mean, yeah, there were definitely things that would have normally been going on that just, weren't, like like we moved here actually early. Like we moved here, I think maybe shortly after the Memphis in May festival was supposed to be, and so that that obviously didn't happen. There, festivals like sporting events and things like that. Like I think when we got here, like live music wasn't going on, but no, we knew that it would come back eventually, and so. And going around, everybody was like, "Oh, wait till you see Beale Street in full swing. Wait till you see this. Wait till you see that." So we were really excited, and then it's been really, really fun this last month or so, and things are becoming more opened up, and there's more festivals and things to do, I guess. And so seeing all of it come to life and seeing downtown, because we've only seen it dead at first when we got here, but it's so alive now, and it's just absolutely it's beautiful. And so, no, and honestly, it might have helped a little bit in that first semester of school for me specifically. Like there's just less, I guess, distractions or and whatnot, less, there wasn't, I don't know if we were able to, like, if the University of Memphis was allowing fans to their football games or, things like that. So there's less, just more time to study, I guess. So that might have helped at first, but now it's really good to be out and just seeing things and seeing Memphis and really enjoying it.
Yeah, I agree with that. Inevitably, it did affect definitely socially things that you could do. Specifically for me, Memphis Grizzlies are here, and the Redbirds are here as well. And I love sports, so I definitely miss those parts of Memphis. But like Zach said, it's almost up in full swing again. Things are starting to open back up, and it truly has been pretty amazing to see how much there is to do in Memphis and how kind of just alive the city is. I know I was reading an article that Choose 901 posted the other day of all the festivals coming up, which seems so fun. So a lot of that coming up this summer and fall, which is really exciting. And I will add one thing is I think it did impact my time in Memphis, but as far as meeting my classmates and everyone at SCO, I think that SCO did a really, really awesome job at fostering us being able to form relationships and meet our classmates. You know, I don't think it impacted as much my time at SCO, but as far as time in Memphis, yeah, it did.
Alrighty, thank you. So just so we can make sure we have some time for questions, I'm going to end with the last question on any advice or recommendations and a quick phrase or sentence for students who are skeptical about making the move to Memphis.
I would encourage you, and I mentioned this earlier, just really understand and realize that there are pros and cons of every city, and kind of hone in on what they said in their presentation earlier and what Zach and I have discussed. There is so much history and culture and just great things going on in Memphis. Even in the 2 years that I've been there, I've seen so much growth and development in Memphis, and I know that with moving to any big city, but maybe Memphis in particular, safety is an issue. But I do encourage you to hone in, like I said, and understand that there are pros and cons of every city, and Memphis's pros certainly outweigh its cons for sure.
Yeah, I will 100% agree with Addie on that. Definitely, pros and cons like everything. But the pros are just, definitely outweigh the cons. And I heard this phrase the other day, and it really just stuck with me and holds true for my wife and I know a lot of my classmates too. If you love Memphis, it will love you back. And I've definitely found that to be true. Like, we came here just so excited to be in a new place and really understand Memphis and get to know it. And it has just been, we've, had nothing but blessings here from Memphis and everything. And I just love the energy and that Memphis provides, a really like the hardworking, resilient energy. It's just a really, really great place to be.
Alrighty, well, thank you so much for those closing thoughts for the panel. Now we're going to open it up to all of our attendees for questions, and this is for everyone. I'm afraid Keenan and Luke, Keenan and Joy, or is it Joy and Luke? Because you have to step off. Keenan is still here. So Keenan, Zach, and Addie are still with us. So for our attendees, if you have any questions for any of our facilitators, please use the chat feature, the Q&A feature, to let us know, and we'll spend a good 5 to 10 minutes addressing any questions. And then while we're waiting for questions, Keenan, any last commentary or reflections after hearing what Zach and Addie had to say about their experience in Memphis?
No, I don't really have many reflections. Zach and Addie did such a great job on saying the great things and positive things about the city of Memphis. And they were right. Like, when they came in, a lot of the world was shut down. So, they're able to now be able to experience the full throttle of the city of Memphis as we're able to open back up. So I just really encourage the ones that are planning to come to the city of Memphis. Just really open your perspectives and your thoughts. If you sit in your dorm or in your house all the time, you will not like the city of Memphis, because you'll only have this certain perspective of what it is, and it may come through someone else's lens. You literally have to go out and do it. Just last night, on a Thursday night, I had no clue that I would end up on Beale Street eating chicken wings, listening to live music. That was not in my plan whatsoever. But I had such a great time doing it. And those are the type of things that you just have to be spontaneous and just go do. Just go enjoy the city and just enjoy yourself and have a good work-life balance. So that's my piece.
Great, thank you. And then the last question I actually forgot to bring up with Addie and Zach. And I know, of course, with COVID-19, this has made the process a little bit difficult, but how do you feel SEO has helped kind of transition you into the Memphis community, or has helped you feel more as a part of the Memphis community, whether that be through service or through any experiences you've had with patients or things of that nature?
So unfortunately, we haven't gotten to do a ton of service so far just because of the COVID regulations. But I think the greatest thing that SEO did is, like I said earlier, they did an incredible job of facilitating us meeting each other and meeting our classmates. I was giving a tour the other day, and I told the people I was touring, you know, I don't think there's anyone in my class that I don't know their name and their face and would at least go and say hello to them, which is pretty spectacular. Considering that we started school in the middle of a pandemic and there's 134 of us. And it's truly all to do and to contribute to SEO and the amazing job that they did facilitating us meeting each other. And I think when that happens, you know, that makes you want to go and explore Memphis. So I'm really looking forward to this next year actually, and getting back and being able to do more in Memphis with the people that I've met in my class.
Yeah, I'll agree with that for sure. I was actually just thinking, like, honestly, the other day, I was like, man, I really feel like I know like way more and met a lot of my classmates that I at first didn't feel like I would when we knew we were going to go online and everything. But yeah, SEO has done a really good job of facilitating those friendships and those meetings and things like that. And yeah, it even definitely got me out of my comfort zone a little bit with the things SEO has done. And no, it's just been really great. As good as it possibly could be in a pandemic, you know, and I'm really excited to be, yeah, like Addie said, going and doing more Memphis-y things yeah, when we get back and all our friends are here and all the classmates, and you know, doing class activities or friends activities, things like that, to just get to know Memphis even more and enjoy it more.
Excellent. Okay, well, it doesn't seem we have any questions, but I'll do one last call for any questions from any of our attendees. If not, that's perfectly fine. The contact information for all of our facilitators is up on the screen. So if you do have any other questions, please feel free to reach out to anyone, especially our student ambassadors. That is what they do here for us. They help serve as liaisons between prospective students in the community and the SEO community. So please, attendees, if you have any questions, do not hesitate to reach out to them. Also, again, this webinar has been recorded and will be available on our website starting next week. So if you would like to revisit anything, you will have free and open access at any time. But if there are no other questions, I'm going to close out and tell you all that this brings us to the end of our webinar. I know we've covered a lot of information, but I hope that it has been of some assistance as you start on your optometric journey. Our next webinar will actually be a virtual event. The Optometry Virtual Fair is coming up on June 2nd. It is an event hosted by the Association of Schools and Colleges of Optometry, and it offers a great opportunity to learn more about optometry programs across the country and have all of your questions answered in one convenient virtual space. So this won't be just a great chance to talk to SEO representatives and learn more about us, but also learn more about all of the optometry schools in our consortium. Some of you, depending on if you follow ASCO or different programs, may have already received this information, but the information for that is on the screen. Again, it will be Wednesday, June 2nd, 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. Eastern time, and a link is on the screen for registering, or you can simply Google the Optometry Virtual Fair 2021. It'll take you directly to the registration page. If you haven't done so already, I invite you to request more information about SEO by signing up for our inquiry form. You'll receive a personal advisor and a personal brochure with information relevant to your goals and experiences. I want to say one more big thank you to our student ambassadors and city leadership for sharing their time and experiences, and a special thank you to all of you attendees who have joined us. We hope to see you at the virtual fair in a couple of weeks, but in the meantime, have a great rest of your day. Take care, everyone, and thank you.